Hey guys, Dustin Wynn.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
All right, welcome back to Bat Force Radio. We got Robert D. Crossover in Canada.
Aloha.
I am Bat Force Tom in California. And over a year ago, we had a guest on who spoke out into existence that they wanted the chance to work on a project with their brother. We mentioned that should that passion project come to fruition, we wanted nothing more than to have the chance to hype it up and speak to them both about it. The time has come, although we can't get too detailed about it yet. We're here to get a little bit of a tease. So we welcome back our friend Clay Mann, and for the first time on the show, Mr. Seth Mann. How you guys doing?
Good.
So yeah, you know, was speaking to Clay a while ago, a couple weeks back, and the last time, Clay, that you were on, we asked you, like, what would be like your best case scenario situation for a book, and you said a book working with my brother, and we were like, that would be awesome. And a couple of weeks ago, I get a DM, and turns out that's happening, right?
Yes.
No comment.
Yeah. So before we get into that, we've had a lot of time to get to know you, Clay, but Seth, this is the first time you're on the show, and people might think, you know, people always want to know about how people get into comics and that kind of thing. So I can tell that you guys kind of probably got into it around the same time, judging by judging by some
Clay's grifter. Yeah, right.
Some of the pics that we found of you guys on the internet. So can you explain this a little bit for us? Where was this? What's going on?
That's Halloween, and that's my mom worked at a steak place, a restaurant, and she sewed that mask with a dinner napkin.
No way.
Grifter. And you can't see, but I actually have like burgundy jeans on. I think I might be. I was Green No, I was Green Goblin. No, but I think that might be paint I did under the mask, but I don't remember. But I also, isn't it crazy how young we are? Because in my head, when Jim Lee was drawing Wildcats, we were like 19.
Yeah.
We look like babies.
Little tykes right there. And then
That hair.
you got, yeah, that's a good grifter. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
nailed
solid.
it.
Do you still have the mask?
No, I have the Wildstorm anniversary one Clay got me, though. Oh, no, they passed that out at a show. Yes, but yeah.
That's rad.
No, it's gone.
And then this one, I think I'm not sure if you guys are a little bit older in this one. Oh yeah, you're older in this one.
It's funny, I'm on the left on every one of these. Too cool stuff. So this is in high school, 9th grade, so it was probably a birthday present because we went in December. Yeah, I don't know. It was either a Christmas or birthday present. My parents, obviously, they knew we loved comics, so they booked us through a lot of hard work. Booked us a tour of the Marvel studio or Marvel, headquarters or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. They did a tour, yeah.
That's super rad.
I really was enjoying it. Seth wasn't. That was my photo face.
Is that a real dude in a suit, or is that a mannequin in Spider-Man?
That was real. No, he walked. It was pretty cool because they put some wasn't it the Joe Mad Christmas special? Christmas special. They were just thrown in the air and acting like they were nothing. But he was my favorite artist at the time, so it was cool. It was fun. First time on a plane.
Oh wow!
And I see there were no grifter masks allowed at the Marvel studio.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't know which one of these came first, but we look a lot older. Yeah, I would say Spawn was 5th grade. This is 9th. That was probably. This is when Joe Matt was drawing X-Men because he was my favorite. Yeah. Okay.
That's a really cool situation that the two of you can remember particular ages of your life via comic book history.
I also remember
cool that people are that much of fans.
Joe Mad was my favorite artist, and they put a page up, and I'm like, that looks like Joe Mad art. And I come home, and then they released the Christmas special, or it wasn't a special, it was Gladiator versus Cannonball
and FOA Swords.
Right there was the page.
Oh,
in the office, so I'll always remember it.
You saw it in person first.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Cool. That's real cool. Yeah. Awesome. And then here's this one's really cool.
Oh, no.
You mentioned Spawn, but
you guys are on my Instagram.
Down here on the bottom is I actually got these off of OnlyFans, but down here at the bottom,
the OnlyMans.
You wrote a letter.
In 6th grade, we had to write somebody, and I chose to write Todd McFarland. And I was smart enough to know when I got it back that's his secretary's handwriting, but his signature.
Yeah.
Ah, good eye.
But Clay, we were in Orlando, and he was coming in, and I got Clay to double back so we could talk to him, and I happened to have was looking at this, so I had it on my phone, and I came up to him and I said, in Spawn number 5, it was I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream at the end of the book with the killer.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that to him, and he finished the sentence, and that was when we started talking.
That's awesome.
He's a nice guy, super nice.
Yeah, he's very gracious with fans, and it's cool because he's such a big personality, so he's always like entertaining to be around. But so when do you remember? Was it both of you at the same time? Was it one of you guys that maybe brought a comic home, or how did you guys kind of get into it?
I got mine. Well, I got into comics through Marvel Series 2 trading cards, which was in 1st grade, and my friend had them, and then somewhere around it was 1st grade or 2nd grade. Wait, hold on.
Spawn number 5 was in 5th grade.
Yeah, that's too.
X-Men was Barnes and Nobles.
Well, we got into Marvel cards. My grandma used to buy them for us.
Yeah.
I used to steal them on my teacher's desk, and she confiscated a whole. I literally would take 2 at lunch. I'd go back every day and take like 2, and ended up getting the whole set out of her desk. But and then my mom took us to a bookstore in town. Seth got a Jim Lee
Ghost Rider versus Wolverine.
And then I got a winter special, the Eric Larson cover. First appearance of Squirrel Girl. I just always remember how much I hated that part of the book. But
I definitely got the better book.
He got the better book. But that was my first comic. That was his first comic.
Wow. What did you guys take to after you started grabbing those? Like Clay, obviously you mentioned before X-Men was your book. That was like what you loved, right?
I went straight into X-Men, and then Image was starting right around the same time. So like Marvel, and then Image guys.
I was just Jim Lee X-Men and going backwards, and then not too far, and then then Image.
This is the best time to be in comics because it was when everything was booming.
Yeah. You guys hit like at a perfect time. Going back to what you were saying before, I think a lot of people.
Those are the ones I stole right there. Yeah.
I think everybody from our time, has memories of those. Like we had a block away from our grade school was a 7-Eleven maybe, and you weren't allowed at that age. You weren't allowed to leave the schoolyard, without permission. So someone would distract the teacher that was out supervising the schoolyard, and then the rest of us would just book it out of the schoolyard and run out of view and get to the store and buy those Marvel cards and then come back.
A couple of you guys probably got abducted on the way back, but
yeah, here and there.
Yeah, but that's awesome. So that's great that the art was so bombastic at that time that it was impossible not to get drawn into it because of it.
Yeah.
No,
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is audio, so Clay and Seth are nodding. Yes, we're in agreement.
Oh, and I met Todd McFarland. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Clay has the Magnum PI look going on for anyone not watching the
No,
video.
this is Ed Pisker, man.
He's cosplaying as Ed Pisker, but
I don't like camera, so I'm trying to hide.
Yeah. That's why I don't turn mine on.
I feel rude when I do that.
I had some other images loaded, but I guess I don't know, it won't let me load them. But it was some of the books that both of you guys had gotten credit for on DC. So there was a couple of Action Comics covers. There was I believe a Poison Ivy cover. I was gonna throw those in there. Maybe I'll probably do it in like post. But so Clay Seth, you've had work that has gotten out there, but this is going to be the first time where you and your brother are you guys going to be the only creative team members aside from colorist?
Yeah.
So to intro that a little bit, picking up from the last time we had Clay on, like we mentioned, we were talking about what would be your favorite thing, what would be your best case scenario, and he's like working on a book with my brother, and it was like almost a little bit over a year. And like you said, we got it done. So no surprise if you're listening to this, you guys did do a pitch to DC, and that pitch was okayed. It sounds like
that pitch was almost a year ago as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Tell us, like, take us through that process. How did that start? What was it like for you guys?
Seth's gonna start. Well, Seth started like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah. So I had both Clay and I just have ideas just all the time, but I was going through like a phase of writing some ideas down and maybe trying to do something with them, but of course I run them by Clay, and I make them awesome. Yeah, it's radio. We gotta spice this up. I will say your interviews are always like super downers.
Hey, we got a lot of feedback on the last one though. I wouldn't say people said it was a downer, but people were like, "What the fuck, man?" Like people were pissed off for Clay.
But it was so like, yes, whatever. You guys, they're not going to be able to tell our voices apart.
I can't.
Seth
and
is
I'm
on
watching
the right.
you talk.
I can barely do it when I.
You sound totally different.
No,
like
no, you don't. Similar. You're identical twins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way the Lord intended. It's okay.
Yeah. Well.
So you had an idea. Yeah, run it by me. I added a little something to it that was good. I don't remember what it was, but it's not like we can say what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
I had a premise to an idea, and I told Clay, and I had already written something prior to that I let him read, and his response was, well, like, work on it. And then we would talk about it here and there. And then, but I mean, like I think Clay said, that was, I mean, honestly, that was probably like 5 years ago.
Wow.
This particular thing.
Yeah, we occasionally will talk about it, and then I'm the one drawing it, and I just basically something just blew up outside. Anyway, yeah, so he did that, and then he brought it to me eventually, and I eventually said I hated it probably. And in the beginning, it was a little, he's very private, or he doesn't, I say I hate it, so he doesn't want to show it to me, and he waits till he's done, and that's what he did. And I was just looking on my phone, and we had our friend Hugh Ward, Classic Blends. What do you call it when you pimp somebody?
Shout out,
Hugh Ward, Classic Blends. Yeah. So basically, we literally we met in a hotel lobby, and we brought a board, like a whiteboard. We had to bring our friend Hugh as a mediator because Seth and I were arguing.
That's not why he. That's why he ended up being there.
Yeah, well, no, we needed someone who would be honest.
He's a good soundboard. He's a comic. He's
Seth and I like different stuff, but we also very much love the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where we overlap, we overlap on a lot, but like, I like
just some nuance differences.
Yeah, like I like, I like a lot of animes, a lot of mangas, a lot of action. Seth likes the slow stuff.
Yeah, I like poetry or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not working with Tom King again, Seth.
It's like pacing. It was like a difference of pacing.
No, I'm joking around. Just different ideas, but I'm like, kind of, I guess.
Clay's a visual person.
Visual.
He wants action. He wants. It's a time if he's gonna do something else. He wants it to be a visual medium.
It doesn't have to be action, but I want it to be I just watched Tenet again the other day. I know a lot of people don't like that movie, but it's so on constantly. There is no down in that movie at all. And that's every panel I draw, I just want to be important. I want it to look good, and I want it to mean something. I don't want to do any more, and it's not a cut against anybody I've worked with, Tom King, but
sounds like it.
If he was right here, I'd do it in his face. But what would Tom write in a tweet? He'd say, writing sad Batman again, looking out a window. And that's cool. And I loved it at a time. And I already went through this last time, but I'm getting pigeonholed and I'm done with, I need a break. I literally, for anybody who thinks I dislike Tom, I don't. Because I even said to him at San Diego, I was like, hey, you know what I'd love to do, after this book is possibly do Date Night 2, which is I think our most popular issue.
Dude, that was a great issue. It was so cool the way you guys played off that.
Yeah, so I was I think that'd be cool if we did a 48-page one shot or something, around, whatever, theme it around something. I think it'd be really fun. And that I would like to do. I just need a break. I need to do something that, is a little more exciting for me, in what I do. And to go back to what we were saying, so yeah, we met in a hotel. Seth had a full script. There might have been a little debating back and forth, and we kind of decided the way we're working may not be the best. And since then we kind of came up with a better way to do it together.
Well, we wrote an intro.
What do you mean?
Well, we did it when we did that first 8 pages.
Yeah, Seth's skipping ahead 2 years, but that's fine. So
time is a flat circle.
We basically, after that day, we had a better idea of what I wanted to do if I was going to go forward with that, and then I think it was, so what year we're in, 2023? So Megacon 2022, I met with an editor. I'm not going to say who he is for something that I might mention later, but I met with the editor and told him I had a pitch I wanted to give him, and he said, okay, give it to me. So came back home. I refused to give it to him on the spot.
Good stuff.
And he really likes beer. So we put the pitch together, and Seth had an idea.
Clay had the wallet.
I had the money. Seth had the idea. And I bought a cooler. Actually, just like the one we're drinking out of. Just like this.
Nice little igloo.
But we filled it with beer, and we laid the pitch on top of it.
Florida beer.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's in the beer, so I got I did a little research for the best Florida craft beer, filled the thing up, got like 8 beers in there, put the script on top of it, and overnighted it to him.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't a bribe.
He didn't get it.
He got it.
It was a tax-free gift.
Yeah. And
after the weekend.
Yeah. So we sent the pitch with some beer. He said it was awesome. Let's talk. So that was at Megacon, which I think is either February or March or April. I don't know. They keep moving it around. But either way, we waited all the way until October, New York Comic Con of 2022. So now we're in October. We went out to lunch with him. He made notes. He read it, pretty much said he liked it, and he's going to put it in front of everyone at DC. And then I would say, like at what, March maybe?
Yeah,
March, it got greenlit. So
wow,
it took forever.
So 5+ years in the making.
Yeah. So also, I mean, I'm not going to count 5 years. Like we haven't been sitting. Yeah. I would say though, since it's been on and off a lot, but you know, we've been pretty confident. If you go back, like in Batcat, there's a couple issues where we just assumed we'd get this book, so we put, or like I drew things in there that will tie into it. And if I did something in the Death of Superman, and I put something in there that's going to tie into it. Just little Easter eggs.
Wow. Do you remember what issue of Batcat?
It's one of the
4 or 5.
No, is it?
It's one of the newspaper articles.
I thought that's it.
It's before the
Just buy the trade, guys. Just buy the trade.
Available now at your local Barnes & Noble and comic book shop.
I don't know what issue it is.
It's when the Phantasm goes to the cabin.
That's way later in the book.
Oh,
it's like probably 10 or 11.
Oh, really?
Or even 12. There's more than one, right?
Well, there's the anniversary one. I don't know. In that, there's the newspapers, and then in the one it's
anyway. And then in Death of Superman pinup, I did something in that will connect to it. You know, just for fun, and you know, and I don't know, just fun for us, I guess. But
well, people are going to be hunting that down now to get an idea.
You can't say what it is.
I don't know what it is.
You don't remember?
I mean, the Death of Superman pinup is your biggest hint because it's only one image.
It's on the TV.
You could probably pull that up right now.
It's on the TV.
I'm going to look right now.
No, on the image, it's on the TV.
Oh, it's just little hint.
It's all news articles, but yeah, it's on the TV in the Death of Superman, and then in the Batcat, it's in the newspaper articles.
Shit. Let's see here. So I'm looking at it right now, but it's on Pinterest, and I don't know if that can. That's how you know you made it when your stuff's on Pinterest. Let's see who put this one out. This is on Twitter, and you did it. Okay, let's see.
I did it.
It says Clay and Mann, Death of Superman 30th anniversary special out today.
No, I don't use Pinterest.
Well, not on Pinterest. I meant on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You tweeted this out November 8th, 2022. Oh, shit.
Here you go, November. So way before it was greenlit.
Okay. Let's see if it lets
22
me.
though. After.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not going to tell you anything until the book comes out, but something on that TV has to do with it.
And you're probably gonna have to squint because it's even smaller in this. But I was looking at it in a blown up on my screen. But
yeah.
All right, very cool.
Look at those pants.
I'm gonna start just throwing random theories all the time.
Dude. So yeah. So it's been officially approved. Your book, right?
Yes.
Do we have an idea of how many issues it might be?
6.
Oh shit! It's like a straight mini. Very cool.
And do we? Is there a projected release date anyone can look forward to yet, or is that still up in the air?
I would just say 2024.
Okay. Very
yeah.
nice. And you said that you weren't allowed to say anything, so I was playing the guessing game with you.
Don't go that way.
Don't go that way.
That guess you took?
No, not that one.
Okay. Don't go down that avenue.
No. Not when I hit it on. Actually, I didn't. It took me a couple of guesses. If you remember, I remember because yeah, it took me a couple of guesses.
Yeah.
It's probably my second or third. Anyways, no, I was gonna say, are you allowed to speak at least of like what characters are in it?
Well, like I know we're on Bat Force Radio.
I was gonna say
So
it's a big enough hint.
Yeah. And we'll stop there.
Okay. And based on, because we talked about this a little bit too, but there's people coming around and hassling you for commissions at the time on the floor, but the idea that you guys pitched and the one that got approved that you're going to be working on, how different would you say was your original concept versus what you're going to be working on now?
I'd say it's a lot of the same, but there's some small things that have.
One thing the editor wanted us to do.
Yeah.
Something we actually agreed on, Seth and I, which again, as we kind of mentioned, doesn't always happen. But there was something in the book that Seth and I thought it's what we wanted. And my editor didn't agree with us, which is fine.
Oh, okay.
And that's put a slight. It didn't hurt it, but we made it work. It's still what we were gonna do anyway. But we had to get around something for our editor, and the editors want us to say yes. So. But that's not a problem. I think it helped. Actually, I think it made me think about more things I wanted to do in the book visually. So, but other than that, it's our idea, and they've been really good. Like they pretty much just said go with it. But
and that's an awesome outcome though to have your pitch, the thing that you guys came up with together, put that out to DC, they green light it, and only have like one caveat that they, just do this. And aside from that, it's all your vision. That's, I don't know how often that happens.
Yeah. And that was just my editors. That was before he that's before he put it in front of DC.
Yeah, he said he
DC,
wouldn't move it forward unless
DC had no, whoever is above the editor had no problem with it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just glad that this ain't my problem anymore.
Is that Dan?
Yeah, every time he pops in, he just likes to see what's going on with all you guys.
I did tell Dan the idea. That's what I did tell him. Well,
you did.
I told him.
Clay's told a few people.
Thing?
Sit there.
I told Dan the idea in a green room at maybe the same Megacon. I told the editor I wanted to pitch him something, and he asked what it was.
I think it was.
And anytime someone above me asks something, I usually just can't stop talking. Like I feel like I have to answer them. So I told him, and I just don't think I was ready to do it on the spot, or he just didn't like it because he was like telling me what would and wouldn't work about it.
Was he still with DC at the time?
No.
Oh, so he's just giving you like notes. Just
there's something in the book. He was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because it's cool." He's like,
"That's what Clay likes right there." That's it. When you presented the idea, he's like, "Because it's cool."
Because it's
stupid.
This. My elevator pitch.
Oh God!
I've had two, because Brian Azzarello. I told Brian Azzarello about it. I love that dude, and he's like, "What's it about?" And I'm like, I'm gonna say it. So
no, don't say it.
We can just cut it out.
No, don't cut it out.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
No, whatever. So
Say it.
Brian Azzarello asked me what it's about, and I don't think I was having a hard time. He intimidates me, even though I like him a lot, and and he's just like, you have to have an elevator pitch, and I go, better than anything Tom King's done before, and that was my elevator pitch for that. And he's like, okay. Also, a joke.
For anyone just hearing the audio, Seth was face palming really hard through that.
It's a joke. I've been working with the guy for years, and I want to. Yes. So anyway, it's a joke. And then well, that was the main one.
Yeah. What was the second one?
The second one, I was like, I don't.
Can you say it?
Oh yeah, I can say it. I was gonna say.
I don't remember.
Seth has Clay has a long history around here of just saying things.
Yeah, White Knight on steroids is what I said, but.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Sean.
Yeah.
And also, I don't like the Tom King thing was a joke. It's a good joke. It made me laugh.
No one's
and you have the leeway to joke.
I
with
do.
Tom. Well, remember the night that you pranked him on this show. You came on as in your alter ego of Crosby, Montana. You just fucked with Tom King hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's Crosby from the Parenthood.
That's my name. It's Crosby, Montana. I faked Tom as someone giving him crap about his bad writing.
Yeah.
Oh, so you just did your voice?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Tom King, can you recognize my voice?
Yeah, he couldn't. And to his credit, he was like taking it. Like he was taking it and then just like, oh, I appreciate, I get it. Not everyone's going to like my stuff. And he was taking
it. Pretty good.
He was taking it better than I was because I was texting Clay the whole time like, oh my God, he's going to hate us. This is so bad. He's never going to come on the show again. And then he never did.
Yeah, because
he's off Batman.
He assumed that it was like one of the co-hosts of the show that was giving him shit. And then Clay came on as himself and then gave him actual shit because Tom was like, well, I already said you're like the best current artist in comics. And you're like, then why'd you give so many pages?
Everybody.
You're like, then how come you gave pages away to the 4 other artists before you gave it to me? And he's like, one of them was Frank Miller. And he goes, my statement stands.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
That's a good time. Yeah. But so you mentioned that you talked to him over in San Diego about that idea. What did he say to that?
He's like, yeah, let's do it. Like, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he's like, yeah, let's do it. I think I've also brought it up because someone had him sign it, and every time I see someone sign it, I always say out loud, like I yell over, depending, he's usually close or a few feet away, or I just yell over, and they're always like, I love this issue so much, Tom. And I'm like, yeah, it's the best thing he's ever done. And he agrees sometimes. So but it was that was a lot of mistakes that just came together in a funny way. So it'd be hard to repeat that. But
so you guys, I think I also asked you how far. I think it's script so far. It's what you've been working on, right?
Storyboarding.
Yeah, we're writing.
It's a different kind of process with the two of us.
A lot of back and forth, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
the pitch, you said you guys kind of went back and forth a little bit during the pitch process. Like, have you found that during the actual coming up of the actual story, you guys are going back and forth? Like, are you clashing at all with some of the things you wanted to do?
The pitch, we didn't really have any objections to. Clay let me pretty much write that. He just read it, but then the script is what got us.
What was the 8? We did 8 pages.
We did a.
I'll say it because we're trying to get them to do an Ashcam because we're like pro 90s all the time.
A year ago.
So we did 8 pages that we're hoping they'll use an Ashcan. If not, maybe we could just put it in the first issue, I don't know.
Yeah, they should do that because they don't do enough of them anymore. But they did just do an Ashcan for Raphael Grandpa's Gargoyle of Gotham.
We saw it. I noticed that. I'm like, I've been asking about this a long time, and he's got one. So yeah, Seth thinks it was our idea, but you do, right?
I just said it was.
It's coincidental.
Coincidental that we literally have used the word like. We should do an Ashcam with this, and we already wrote it. And
we already wrote it. We already showed it to him,
and it's been seen.
But I've been trying to post stuff about it, but DC won't let me. So I figured I'll just do it in a podcast. So
yeah.
Like what they just released 2 books. This is when Clay starts getting like angry at DC, but. So they just announced 2 books for Batman books at San Diego, and I think they're in the solicits like this month. That's not enough time. I might be getting it totally wrong, but I feel like one of them is already ready to be solicited, and I just like 2 months. That's all you get. Like I don't like that.
Which one is one of them? Gargoyle of Gotham.
I think so.
Well, that's out in September. One was but has like Batman with an octopus in his mouth.
Yeah, that's a City of Madness, Christian Ward's.
Is that going to be in solicit this month?
No, that the solicitation is out like if you get the DC Connect magazine, but when's that? Let me see. Because I'm talking with Christian. Christian's going to come on.
No.
Is he the one that's always late? That's the guy that jumps in all the time.
What?
For years.
There's Batman Outlaw, or that's a Detective Comics arc, I think.
No,
is the one with the octopus also have the Court of Owls in it?
Yeah, that's Christian Ward. So yeah, the FOC for that is in September. So yeah, I think that's coming out in October then.
Yeah, I think when
I just saw the image last week.
Like I just feel like I don't know. Why can't the artist or somebody talk about that? It's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't like that.
What, like the small window between the announcement and it already coming out?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think
they may have asked and they may have said
I think when my thing was greenlit in like March, I think I should be able to be proud and be like, I'm doing this book. See you in a year. Like I just think, people are gonna wonder what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get people ask at the shop all the time. Is there a Clay Mann book right now?
Yeah,
like, I'm not even bullshitting. People say it.
But okay.
Well, now there's the Man Boys.
The Man Boys.
The Men.
That's us.
Marvel will regret.
No, don't say that.
What?
I didn't want to say that.
The cover?
We did one. I don't want to.
Just having a little sidebar here. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're having a sidebar.
Quick, yeah. Wondering if what they should leak is appropriate or not.
Say that.
Oh.
So what? Now the hard work starts. This is something different though, because this is a project where it's like the 2 of you, right? Do you feel like how much you are self-critical normally is going to double because of what this is, Clay? With like how much time you take and starting over like after you finish the whole page?
I mean, I'm going to be more critical of it because it's closer to my best or whatever that saying is. But yeah, and but I'm supposed to be drawing it right now, and I'm technically am in a way because we're storyboarding it. That's how we're doing it. We when I get a script, it's just words on paper. When we're doing it, it's it's already going to be fleshed out. The editor is going to be able to already see the visuals, and it's just easier for me to do it that way. Versus when I'm going back and forth with him. So It's technically already started. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of like there is a deadline. There's deadlines already set up in a way, but you know, I don't think they're going to be. I don't think they're like etched in stone until they, you know, actually get some product in hand and figure out when they're going to announce it and stuff.
Mm. Speaking of deadlines, got a picture of you guys
oh my God.
hanging out. I think this was, you said, one. Seth, this was after a deadline.
Where are you guys getting these photos?
Your stupid Instagram.
We're TMZ.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. I don't think so. 100%. Where is this from?
Boys.
This is, yeah, from Instagram. Or not Instagram, sorry. Twitter. X. Sorry. I'm going to cut that out. X. I don't want to get sued.
What?
No, I need to
wait, you can't call it Twitter?
No,
you'll get
sued.
It's not Twitter anymore.
Oh, well, yes, this was after some deadline. I think I helped Clay finish on something like a small, so we were together, and then he's like, or I don't know, because he had, did you still have the studio then?
Yeah.
So he had a studio right behind this brewery.
Should we tell the podcast listeners what we're looking at? Clay passed out in a crowd of people.
It's so bad.
It's like, what is that you're laying on? It's like an elevated, like.
So it's a really old garage that they turned into a brewery, and those are like where a truck might have pulled up and they might have
unloaded because there's
like a little.
It's like 5 feet off the sidewalk.
But I have half consumed beer and I'm passed out, not because I'm drunk, because I'm probably sitting there snoring.
Yeah.
And then my brother is taking a selfie.
Yeah.
Big smile.
Immortalizing the situation.
Yeah.
Big smile.
To be fair, it's a great photo.
There are a lot of people.
Yeah, at first I thought I was like, there's people dressed up. I'm like, it's like a nice corporate event or.
That must be the Friday. There's a market.
It's a busy, yeah. Apparently,
all these people standing around and look at these comic artists. They go to sleep on the street. They don't pay them.
Well, it looks like he's on the ground.
I look like it looks like I'm Hank Pym and I passed out. I look like a giant.
Yeah, and there's like a metal bucket right by your head.
It's not a puke bucket. I
for vomiting in it.
Well, we'll let the people decide.
Ashtray. But yeah, that's me passed out after some Tom King book. That might have been. Yeah, I don't know what.
I think you said Seth. I think it said Batcat.
That can't be Batcat. So, yeah, so that would have been the main Batman run, and
that could have been the City of Bane.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but that's clearly, if I'm passed out like that, that means I wasn't sleeping for a few days and just trying to get it done.
Definitely. You guys joked a little bit before. He said Marvel missed out or Marvel's jealous now. Had you guys, prior to this, ever pitched anything to Marvel?
What do we cut? What did he say? What did you say?
What did I say? Or what did who say?
He said what
we're cutting?
No, he said Marvel had a chance, but they let something go.
No, that's not what we're cutting. Keep that in. Yeah, Marvel snoozed on me, man. What? I don't know. What are you asking? I'm sorry.
I was asking, like, so this is
Marvel before.
This is leverage now for the two of you because you've gotten approved for a DC book. You've always said like you would love. Wait, are you under contract still with DC?
I signed. I'll tell you how DC was so awesome to me. They greenlit this book. I was out of contract. I've been out of contract for a couple of years, I think, 2 maybe. And when we pitched this, I was like, okay, I'm going to ask for a raise. I don't know if I mentioned ask for a raise in the last podcast.
You did.
I was a Debbie Downer.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you told us what the response was too. or how they responded and bullshitted.
Right. So they basically were like, "You're worthless. Tom King's the valuable one." Basically, they forced me to do this. So I was like, okay, they greenlit it. So I'm like, okay, sweet, raise time.
Because I'm worth nothing.
Yeah, because like also just a little inside stuff. Comics work on a budget. So if you have me and Tom doing a book, there's a budget. So there's X amount to pay us both. You take Tom out of the equation. Let's say you're, just take your guesses, but
you free up a lot.
You're freeing up a lot of the budget to do, and it's Batman, and as Rob Liefeld said, it's not you, it's Batman. So Batman's going to sell. So now you don't have Tom King on it. So my brother is not Tom King. He'll get paid less. So I'm like, sweet, more room in a budget for Clay to finally get his raise. So then they go, congratulations. The pay cut shouldn't be too much. And I was like,
pay cut.
What? And I'm like, pay cut. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no. Yeah, no. I would have left if they would have forced me to take a pay cut. I also think it was really I think that
it's going around.
I like DC. They are doing pay cuts, but also I think it was a way to make me happy to give me the same amount, because when I say no to a pay cut, and they say, okay, well, you can get what you're currently getting paid. I feel like I'll think that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not. It's a loss, but so then I was left with the decision, leave, because I'm not getting a raise, but they gave me a Batman book, and they're letting me do it with my brother, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to give that a shot. If it does well, and obviously if it does well, I would assume they'll give me a raise. And at that time, if they don't, I'm just going to be over it, because it'll be like 5 years since they've given me a raise. And I just and I haven't got a substantial raise. So it's just like getting a little bit annoying.
Yeah, we can cut this out if you want, but even prior to no, I mean what I'm about to say though. Even prior to the Batcat book, like when you were doing some of Tom's Batman run, you were telling me then that you were in negotiations with them again, and already back then they were trying to pay you less. They were trying to make you take a cut for re-signing then, before you even got to Batcat.
Yeah, and you mentioned it was because that book before me had Bane versus Batman in it.
Yeah.
And then now we're doing a book that's like, it's Batcat, but there's no Batman.
You don't have to cut this. That's when they use the sales against me, and they're like, well, your issues sold less. And I was like, well, my issues didn't have Batman. That doesn't take a rocket scientist, and also, but someone was already leaving that book, and people kind of knew it was a dead horse. Like, it's the worst time to try to throw a number at me that the sales are going down. It's like, you're drawing issues with no Batman. Shame on you that you asking for a raise, because the sales are low. It's so stupid.
Make it whatever. I'm not a high caliber inker, and I can't even stand to look at this stuff. I think there's been like one issue I've ever done that I actually like, and I have a specific page rate. When we did this, when Clay was talking about, oh, it's not Tom, it's Seth, and maybe here's a budget, and that's how he actually presented it. Here's a budget for the book. They wanted to pay me less than half of what they would pay me to ink a page, which I'm not Mark Farmer. So like to me, it's silly. Like it was weird, but this
Deep
goes
pull on Mark Farmer. Like, okay, young people.
Everybody knows Mark Farmer.
No, they don't.
If they're,
You're not Scott Williams.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
not.
Oh, Mark Farmer is up there.
No one
with
inks
Scott Williams.
themselves in it. Yes, but you know, come on.
And fine, the great Alan Davis, Mark Farmer, but this goes back to Clay doing something that in this we talked about this before. I noticed. I told Clay I saw that Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples did is they put her name first on the book. Mm-hmm. I noticed that on one of the solicitations a while back, but we were saying that or his name should be first. Like if it has our names, if we can't pull the name that we mentioned,
we're not going to really separate everything. I mean, I'm doing the art, Seth's doing the script, everything in the middle we're doing together,
but it should be his. Yeah, it's he's the one that's worked for them.
I'm not asking for this. This is Seth is. Again,
I think
earlier in the podcast, when I was like, Seth reads books I don't. One of them is Saga. I don't read it.
Saga.
What Saga? Whatever, dude.
But
you don't like Saga?
I don't care about it. I don't like, dude. Whatever.
By the way, you know that scene where she has the miscarriage and it's black for 6 pages?
Uh-huh.
You know? Oh, you do or don't?
No, I've read Saga. Yeah, I love Saga.
I had that idea for a book. So, but let me tell you something.
Yeah, and if Seth came to me,
exactly.
This 6 pages of black. I'd be get out of here. He would have said no. Stupid. I'd be like, if Tom King did that, I'd be like, payday. But like, my name on it. Get out of here. That's embarrassing.
Those are the differences.
I get it because it's
no, man. So, and also, let's make fun of me for Saga, okay? Saga. Which one is it? It doesn't matter, dude. I'm like Seth. Watch Ghost in the Shell. Okay, maybe. I'm like, dude.
I watched it.
Whatever.
23 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, but I like anime and manga, and he doesn't know what I'm talking about. So like, whatever, man. Like, that stuff is cooler than Saga. TV heads. Come on.
No. Oh, I see. I think that's great.
Great. Good for you. I love her art. But yeah, I don't know. I looked through the pages. That's a Tom King book.
It's also
I love the 90s,
just
man.
Chopping down Brian K. Vaughan. Chopping him down.
I feel like together, Clay and I, it's fair to take.
You know when, like, Tom, I think it's Todd McFarland has said every page should be a poster.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
See, I don't agree with that.
Makes me excited.
Every page should be a poster.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, but like,
this is why the book should be good. Hopefully, it's good.
Well, oftentimes if there's like this kind of, like this got to be this way, no, it's got to be that way, no, it's got to be this way. But then when you meet in the middle and it works, it's. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the. You might think they suck. A lot of people think they suck, but I love them. Deftones, the guitarist Steph is.
Music.
You lost me.
I don't listen, but I don't listen to music. He does. I don't.
Basically, what I'm saying is like there's one style that one guy in the creative process always wants and like fights for, and there's a completely different style that another guy in the creative process wants and that he fights for, and they fight each other over it constantly. So what they constantly have to do is come and like, okay, you're gonna get this much of that stuff, and I'll get this much of that stuff, and they're like, fine, and neither of them is happy, kind of.
We had that conversation.
Yeah, but it ends up being great, and that's what you're talking about, I think. So I'm excited.
I said to Seth, I went to his house one day. I was like, look, this is after we got in an argument, and I was like,
see how on
I would what?
I'm just curious if this actually happened.
What, Seth can tell you to cut it after. I don't make up stories. I went to Seth and I was like, look, if I wanted a writer to tell me what to do, would have stayed with Tom King. So what we're gonna do?
That's probably right.
What we're gonna do is
if you want to do it, this is
okay.
If you want to do it, this is.
I'll be honest. You only have the job because of me. So this is what we'll do.
Cue thunder.
This is what we'll do.
Thunder.
I'm 51%. I will listen. I will try to accept an idea that I don't like. But when I say no, my 51, no. I'm getting what I want in the book because I've never had that role before, and that's what we're gonna do.
Mm.
So,
this
by
is
the way, I said to my brother, I said to him the other day, I said,
Josh?
Clay.
Okay.
I said to Clay, I said
podcast
that I've relinquished the idea that this is his. No, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I'm not. It's not lost on me that this is. Clay's been in the business for, what did you tell me the other day?
5 years.
5.
I'm joking.
20.
I'm really depressed to say I've been drawing comics for like 20 years because when people ask me, I honestly say like 8 because I think it's real. And then I did the math the other day and it's like double that.
Wow, Jesus
So
Christ.
like this is his.
Long are the days when my heroes, man, it's depressing me drawing comics this long and no one knows who you are. Sucks.
No, people know who you are, dude.
I don't think that's
I know,
true,
right? People know who he is.
Dude,
If it was the 90s, I just
I know what you mean. Yeah, it was a
joking,
different time in the 90s. Like, yeah, comic creators got to be rock stars then, but
I want to be a rock star, but
yeah, there's a lot.
There's no artist I liked who was drawing for 20 years who wasn't an A-lister.
Well, I think it's prime time to get blown up then with what you guys are about to drop. So,
And oversaturated Batman market, we'll do our best.
but I think without giving too much away, I think that the way this, without saying it, and spoiling anything, I think that the way this is coming out, it works. You know what I mean? Like, it works. It's gonna work, I think. But what I was gonna say is that was earlier when you were talking about, I want to use that as the intro soundbite, as the episode soundbite. It's like if I wanted to work with a writer to tell me what to do, I would have just stuck with Tom King. I was like, check out the new episode.
It's time for, what is it when everybody says what they get paid and they say transparency. It's time to be transparent. Do you know what I'm getting for my contribution to the writing for a DC comic book?
For this book?
Yeah.
Is it writing?
No, I mean, but it's not writing. But it's like, this is what I'm saying. Whatever little bit of story or plot. I'm getting paid. Never mind. Seth ruined it for me.
But this is it's a good point because,
well, okay, I'll say this. They offer, and I'm not complaining. If this is what we got to do, and hopefully the book does well, and they see more value in it. But look, Seth said he couldn't get a writing rate. That was but half his inking rate, and he's not even a known inker.
I'm not getting paid anything to ink a page.
So they wanted us to split, or they just wanted to pay us.
They wanted to give me that half and then give Clay the half as well. So it would total my inking rate. And
in a negotiation, we're like, no, that's not enough. Got raised. But they weren't raising it for Seth. They were splitting it. And I was like, I want money for my contribution, and he should get money as the writer. And long story short, classic to what I've been going through, I get $1. So
The reason it's $1 is because, and this is where we bickered a little bit, but at the same time, Clay's trying to be good about it, is that they're saying X amount of dollars, we're going to pay Seth X amount of dollars. I said, that's not okay with me because that's half my inking rate.
It's not even like it's
not even, if it was my only job, which
you'd starve.
I literally couldn't even do anything with it. It's only 6 issues, mind you. But yeah. Clay's also drawing the book. So I feel like it should at least been my inking rate that I've worked on the book. And I'm not the creator being an inker. I'm not the artist nor the writer. But so they said half. I said no to Clay. Clay told, whoever, lawyer or whatever. And then they came back and they said, we'll raise it. But my side didn't go up. Clay just got the same thing I was getting. So they were saying, okay, well, now it's doubled, but I was still getting the same thing. So Clay said, although I said, don't do this, I think what he said and what he's not saying is that he's giving me 99%. He's giving him 49 of his percent to me, and he's keeping $1 because something has to be.
They have to give me money.
So he's giving me, he told him to give me, through the lawyer, his share to me. Which still.
Just to make it.
For the writing portion, you mean?
Yeah, and it's still less than my inking.
So they wanted to pay us both a writer's rate. They would not give us the book unless they were paying me a writer's rate. Because they're like, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't want to get too in the weeds here.
This is what they're like.
Well, look, this okay, but basically they wouldn't give Seth any more money, but they would give me more money. So I was like, well, I don't want the money because my brother deserves a certain rate. And they said no. So I was like, then he can have the money you're offering me. And then they're like, well, you have to be getting something for it. So I was like, then $1. I don't think they like that, but my lawyer made it happen. So I'm getting $1 for,
writing.
Not right. Well, a little plot. But
the way we did the prologue, in which turn I think is great.
What we want to do is an Ashcam.
Right. The Ashcam is we had an idea. Right, we had there's these 6 pages. It inserted into it. It was from what spawned from the editor's the one thing he wanted. This solved that problem, and then we did so we had an idea. Clay said, "Here's kind of what I'm picturing." We said it's 6 pages, but there was no page for page per se except the bookends of it. And then I took it, I went over it. I sent it back to Clay. I doodle a little too. Clay got those. He went through and he expanded on it, added stuff. It changed, and it's hard to say who does what. I mean, we would know, but I think we passed it back and forth. We both had it twice, so 4 times, and then it was done. But it was good, and that's kind of how we're approaching the book. But it's bit obviously larger, but yeah, he's doing more than drawing, and I think I'm doing more than dialogue. But the way those things are broken down, it really should be a budget, and then the creators can decide on their own, because that whole dollar thing's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like they want it to be a clear-cut black and white, like down. They want it to be a.
In their defense, for some reason, I think they said, "Look, and I'm not complaining. I'm getting $1. I am complaining. Whatever. I want all the money they'll give me. Whatever, $1, whatever. But if this book does well, and then they want to offer me $1." Then I won't understand it. but this is our first book together. This is a first book where I'm not necessarily attached to a writer who's got, has something under his belt. We're first time newbies, so I get it, So I'm not trying, I'm not complaining. I think it's funny. And I think it's, I'm not embarrassed to tell people they're giving me $1. If they're embarrassed, then they should pay me more. So that's just,
I think it's silly.
It's funny. It's just funny.
But even if you paid Clay twice, 3, 4 times what you're paying me, and you just gave me my inking rate, which is all I wanted, and you still paid him what he's worth, it's going to go under budget of any book he's ever been on. And I guarantee you it's going to sell within the margin.
The exact budgets we're guessing.
We know a little bit.
Seth's guessing. I know the numbers, but
whatever.
Listen.
It could be a moderately good seller and they'd make money.
But this could be a total dud, but it won't be. But to them, it could be a dud, and that's fine. So I just want this to be the last book I do without feeling like a company believes in me. And I think they believe in me, or I don't think they would have given it to me. But I mean, I want them to
appreciate.
I would say I feel appreciated sometimes. I want the proud, maybe go say wow, guys, awesome, because that's that would be cool. And I don't mean my editor. My editor is fantastic. So I just mean someone who I don't even know at DC is if they're wow, that book was so good, did good for us.
It was cool.
Whatever, cool, yeah, awesome. But yeah, that's all. I mean,
yeah, you get to a point where you don't feel like you have to fight him anymore.
Yeah, there you go. I want my contract to end. You know what? That's what I want. I want my contract to end, and I want them to call me and say, "We don't want to lose you." That's what I want. So everything that is what I want, because that would be awesome.
That would be great.
That would be great for anybody.
And it's deserved at this point. I think you should already be in that position with how much the people who buy their comics, enough people who buy their comics will buy them for your work and see your categories too.
I mean, I love to play devil's advocate, so I mean, I can see their side, but still, it would be a nice feeling. And I'm not talking an editor. I mean the company. I mean the people who pay the checks. Because I do have people the editors are so nice. Jim Lee, so nice. These guys are so nice to me. So it's the business side of it that I would love for them to be like, you are worth something. Which is what I've been complaining about since the last time I was on your podcast. And yes, they gave me a book, so.
And it's a good opportunity too to like you said, this will give you the chance to excuse me, do what you know how to do best without having to be. And I don't think you meant this word in a disparaging way, but yeah, the reality is, usually the writer has an idea and the artist, does kind of executes the visuals of the idea. And sometimes people fucking hate that idea because it's changing or doing something to a storyline or a major character they love. You're associated with it because you're on the book. Now you're doing what you want, what you guys want, right? Story wise and all that. You don't have to worry about it being but if he hadn't have fucking done this or that. No, it's now this is exactly what you want, how you want it. So you can kind of stand on your own. The art can kind of stand on its own too. And you don't have the worry of having to kind of okay, well, at least the art's good. You don't have to apologize.
I think I said this last podcast, but I do have ideas, and we're gonna we're gonna mention Tom. It's have I told Tom I would prefer to do something else? Yes. Have I given him an idea? Yes. Have I? Well, I mean, well, I was just gonna say, have I been right? Always, but I'm not the writer.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, I am okay with it, and it's not. I'm not the writer, so like, I'm not mad, you know. But whether it's one idea or two, or I disagree with something and I bring it to someone's attention, and they're like confident enough in their plan and their execution, and it doesn't line up with what I think that would be, it just it's like planting the seed, go do it yourself. So, and then here we are. And I'm not saying I loved being on Heroes in Crisis, you know, and I loved being on Batcat, but I don't know, like, yeah, I just it's more to do with it's not to do with Tom, because I really appreciate Tom and I like him and I love working with him. I just like, you know, a review. Your Tom King's book, Tom King this, Tom King that, Tom King that. And it's like, you know.
That should change everywhere. It's
I mean, it's annoying. It's with every book.
Well, you know, I'll say it. I think it should change. I think it's ridiculous. I hate it. And I'm a comic fan. It shouldn't. He said it last time. A writer can do 6 books. An artist can do 1 book. Highlight the guy who's working harder. I mean,
I don't know if it's harder, but who can't do as much?
Whatever. That's harder.
Whatever. Can't do as much.
That was. We don't know who said what, do we?
Clay's defending.
Maybe that's
Clay's
the
defending writers.
I just
Clay's defending writers. Look, I like writers. Reviewers should mention artists no matter what. It's so, you know how many reviews I read and they're like, Tom King, great book, this, and I don't even get a mention. Like, come on. Like,
yeah, but if you read the second paragraph, it will say something where you know they don't know what they're talking about. The reviews are terrible. Half the people read them, they don't even know what they're talking about. Saying the wrong artist, or they'll say,
yeah, if someone wants to know why I want to do my own book with my brother, blame all the people who do reviews, because they never mentioned me. So,
thank you.
Clearly,
that's your evil origin story.
Clearly, in this day of age, you have to be a writer to get some sort of like recognition.
Are these like print reviewers, like in like actual reputable print?
Comic book resource or comic book roundup. Just go and read them. It's like I barely get a mention. The only people who ever mention me and go, Tom King sucked, Clay Man's awesome. Like, but anybody who likes the book doesn't mention me. Like, usually that's how it goes. It's kind of annoying because it's like.
That's why I feel like this format is so great, because it gives us like we've had. Most of the time we talk to people, it's either one or the other, never both. And I think artists are the ones we kind of gravitate towards a lot of the time. And so we've had, I think, it gives that one artist an opportunity to really flesh out and
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you ask as many writers to come on here as artists?
I don't know.
I don't know if we we don't really like have a quota or anything like that on purpose. It's kind of
I'm just wondering if artists are more hungry to promote themselves because they are less visible.
I'll say this. I feel like it's harder sometimes to get an artist on when they're on a book because they just don't have the fucking time.
Yeah.
I know that.
But I'll say 2 of the last 3 people that I asked on were primarily artists.
Who's the last person who told you no?
Shit.
Bruce Timm.
David Mazzucchelli.
That's killing.
Who's someone currently working in comics who told you no?
He didn't tell us no, but he just
cut it out.
Well, like it's just. I mean, it's not like bad thing. Tom Taylor, probably.
Well,
but he never does interviews.
Well,
like,
yes
with
and
podcasts.
no. But I talked to Tom Taylor, and he said he doesn't spend time doing interviews like that because he's in fortunate enough of a position that he doesn't need to. But he did. This has to count for something that he did say. If I decide to do a podcast, it will be you guys. So I feel like that's a half a no.
Is that basically what I just said?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It is.
Yeah.
Did he say he doesn't have time, or does he need the promotion?
He's in a lucky enough spot. He doesn't have time.
That's not what he said.
We had the last person that I felt like was like really, really gracious and like happy to have been asked was Travis Mercer, who's an artist. And I felt like he was at least one of the most, like in recent memory, was one of the most like gracious to be like, thank you guys, thank you for like, like spotlighting me, I guess, which I thought was pretty cool. But so that's to your point right there is like, he doesn't have, artists don't have that outlet as much maybe as writers do. Like, for example, you know what I just saw? Like, I was scrolling, I don't know where, and I saw Seth Meyers is going to have Grant Morrison on. Right, and I can't remember the last time Seth Meyers or someone like on a late night show had an artist on, just artist.
So, well,
didn't he have
Seth Meyers had Tom King on for Heroes in Christ at 4.
Oh my God, he did.
Guess who's on the curtain?
No, but do you know okay. I'll give you guys a fun story. So, Tom King, we're doing Heroes in Crisis. Dude, they put us on a yacht at San Diego.
Yeah.
I felt important for a minute. But that's before the book came out. But Tom King did Seth Meyers. It was supposed to be for Heroes in Crisis. If you watch it, there's not one mention of it. Funny thing is, it was for Heroes in Crisis. And to prove it, guess where I was that night? I was in the audience of Seth Meyers.
You didn't get to go on this. You didn't get to go on?
No, and I wouldn't have gone on if they asked me. It was for Tom, but
okay.
DC Publicity was there, and they were 100% supposed to pimp Heroes in Crisis. I went to New York. I was in the audience because I even called my dad and my mom. I was like, they're going to say my name tonight because that was the plan. They were going to pimp the book, and it didn't happen.
That's because of like the Seth Meyers people?
It's a mix of because I think once the show starts, wherever the conversation organically goes, or where Seth takes it, or where Tom took it. But it was just so funny because it ended, and I'm like, what just happened?
Like, why am I here?
Like, yeah, why am I here? And like, and it was funny because I think DC Publicity was scrambling a little bit because they're like, wait, Heroes in Crisis didn't get mentioned.
Oh, like they didn't even mention the book's name?
No, they didn't even say the name of the book.
Yes. Did they pay for like the flights to send you guys there?
No, I went on my
paid on his own.
I went on my own time because they told me they were pimping Heroes in Crisis. I was like, I have to see this in person. But I went. I was backstage. I was in the green room with Tom. It was so fun. It was fun. It was so awesome. I'm not mad about it. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
It's exactly. It was just so funny because it just made so much sense that
like a microcosm of how everything has gone.
Yeah, and but it was it was so fun. So I don't regret it in any way, and I'm happy the way it went. Would have been cool if my name was mentioned, absolutely.
Yeah.
But dude, it was I still laugh about it, but that was funny.
That seems like such a snafu to happen. It's like I feel like, of course, at like the highest level of publicity, would a snafu like that happen? Like, it's fucking could have been.
I think maybe also, and I'm not saying Tom King did anything wrong. Tom 100% was supposed to mention it. But also, I think the questions were supposed to lead that way. And I think that might have been DC really wanting it to happen, which is what I picked. Like, maybe I only know what DC really wanted to happen. But, Seth Meyers is a fan of Tom's other books. So it's like, it's hard to control that. So I'm not getting mad about it. It's so organic.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to tell the host of the show what to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it was really funny. And then my dad the next day was calling Tom a jerk, and I had to tell my dad like it's not Tom's fault.
Like he purposely like snubbed you.
Yeah, because my dad stayed up to watch it.
It's like this fucking guy made me stay up all night. You didn't say your name once.
Robin, where's your store at?
I'm in Windsor, Ontario. So you got the Tigers hat on. Detroit is in my backyard. I can see the Detroit skyline from my house. So if that explains where it is.
Oh, okay.
It's weird to think that he's further south than Detroit on a map.
Yeah, that always tripped me. I used to work at a bar. When I was like 20, I worked in a bar, and you could trip out Americans. Americans would come here to drink because pre 9/11, because the drinking age is lower here.
Right.
So they would be over. So you're talking to these drunk Americans, and you could blow their mind by telling them that their home in Michigan is north of where they are in Canada. They're like, no, it's not. You guys are up north. Does it get cold in here? Like, dude, when you go back home, so you walk out of this bar, you're gonna get in your car and drive towards home. What direction are you driving? Well, that way. That's north. And it would just blow them away.
They can't handle it. Speaking of doodles and all that, this was something else you posted. It's tiny when
you
look
guys have all my. Hey, by the way, that's the book that Clay. You got. Can you keep that up until Clay's done?
Yeah.
That's date night too, dude.
Oh, really?
What do you think Gordon's holding, man? What?
Come on. The baseball? Is that the baseball?
Yeah, the baseball.
Nice.
He's holding the baseball.
Awesome.
What is this?
That's date night too.
What? Where's that from?
You don't recognize that beautiful thumbnail?
Seth thinks he's a clever. Oh, the Catwoman's in there. I don't recognize this.
Yeah, I drew it. I showed you. I said this. Oh, you know what this was?
Look how well manicured his nail is. He always yells at me if I have like a white nail.
Yeah. Anybody who has a nail. You know what? In Presumed Innocent, Harrison Ford. I watched it today.
Where is this from? I've never seen
the last.
Catwoman's too tall, by the way. Look
when
how
he finds
small Batman is.
It's true, but look how big it is. I did it so quick. Look at it's so quick. You know what this is?
I don't know. I keep asking.
I'm
what
about
is this?
to tell you. So, Clay, I can utilize my brother, but we go bounce off ideas, and a lot of the stuff I do is just for me. We've always been storytellers, so to speak. So it's like just fun stuff. But like if Clay has something coming out, he'll say, Seth, you got any ideas? Or he'll show me his drawings. I get to see
this to me?
Yes. This was
what?
This was for the anniversary when you drew them on the scoreboard. You drew it's way better.
Oh, I know.
Clay's is better.
Way better.
It's better. It should be better. But
that's why he gets the big buck.
This was what was that for?
It's
wedding.
In Batman 50, I did a
splash.
Every artist on the book did a splash of the Batcat, so mine was from date night.
Yeah, so this was like an idea for his date night page, and it was just Gordon looking at the baseball.
What is this on Twitter?
Mm-hmm. X.
You can use Twitter anymore?
No, this must be super old.
That's why it's
you know
easy
what
to
though?
find your
Some
stuff.
famous artist commented on this. Some lady, and I went and looked at her page, and I was like, I was so happy. But yeah, dude. First of all, this whole the scale and of these two is terrible. I can't even see it now. But I'm I'm not using anything. I'm drawing this just like that's like a super quick little.
So the podcasters is Seth's thumb with 3 figures, and Catwoman is taller than Batman. Just letting everyone know.
They're also 1.5 inches tall. They're super tiny. That's a good image.
No, it's good. She's too tall.
She is too tall.
Is it day in? Artist day in? Diane? Wow, I'm so fucking stupid. Day in? It's Diane. Artist Diane. I don't know
what you're talking about.
The person that responded to it, they're DEYN. I just realized, oh, it's Diane. I'm so dumb.
If you look at her art, she's good. She's got, if I remember, it's kind of got like a New Yorker kind of illustrative type artist.
Yeah.
Famous.
Yeah, she had a lot of followers. And I remember thinking, and
How
she
many
drew
followers?
Wonder Woman. She's like
on Twitter, she's got about little over 10K.
Yeah, super not famous.
Clay's so rude.
What?
I'm looking at her. Shout out to artist.
First of all, on X, how many do I have? 1, maybe 12. So, yeah,
I see.
No, you're up there. You're over 350, buddy.
Okay, so that's what he think. That's what he thought is over 300.
Whatever, dude. She's got some cool artwork.
No, that's
shout out to artist Diane. Artist DEYN.
You say famous, I'm like thinking like
I just
Hollywood actor.
No, but she had some Wonder Woman stuff in there, and but again, it's very like New Yorker.
What was the comment, by the way?
This is cool. Or
did you draw this, Seth? Question mark, exclamation point.
Yeah, see?
Oh, wow. Did Seth, what did Seth say?
He said, yes, I think you're the only one to have seen it. I really like your work, by the way. Just spend some time.
Oh, God. I would have taken a $100 bet. He said more than one word.
And then she said, thank you. You're an amazing inker, and this drawing is awesome. It reminds me of the 30s and 40s New Yorker cover. Constantine Alahalov. Almost shocking you could finesse the ink so well on something as small as your thumb. I really want to see more drawings from you. And you said, too kind.
How could 2 people write so much about an inch drawing?
Hey man, when people connect and it just there's a connection with, what can you say? Artists.
You know what Clay would have said? You know what Clay would have said when she said that? I'll be like, thank you.
Yeah, you would. Did you draw this? Yes, obviously I posted it.
Yeah. There's a big difference between the two of them.
I'm excited to see what shines through in the book. Then it's going to be nice to see that. It's going to be fun. But boys, we are about an hour and a half in. As much as I'd like to keep you on for the listeners, I want to hear stuff that they're not allowed to listen to. So
yeah, get the fuck out of here, people.
So wait. Well, let's ask some more questions though. Is this going to be? I think I asked you, Clay, and you were like, I don't think so. Is this going to be announced by New York? And you're like, I would love that, but I doubt it.
I don't know. I really, honestly, don't know.
Yeah, I don't, and I can't see this. Why? Yeah, and I can't speak more about that. There's a reason why. There's a reason why it's possibly further out. But so announcements, as far as like announcing the official announcement from DC, it might be a bit, but at the very least, fans can know that you guys are going to be working together on a book that's going to be out on DC, related to the title of this podcast, which is cool. I'm trying to think of any other questions that I'm allowed to ask that you could answer and have to do with the book. Oh, I was going to ask you this. Okay, so you took a bunch of commissions for the first time in a long time at San Diego. While you did those and got through, I don't know if you've gotten through them or at least seen the list, but did anyone, without knowing it, commission you for a character from that's going to come out in this book?
Yeah, I got a Batman.
Elusive. All right. What other question? Do you have anything else, Robin?
That
you think they might be allowed to answer?
No. Only things that they would not be able to answer.
Yeah.
But we'll say no or yes. Yeah. No.
Okay. Okay. Well, what's the title?
I didn't say that.
Oh.
No. None of that garbage.
Yeah, it's
sneaking
not.
I didn't say that.
Title the podcast.
No, don't. No, don't. Seth can't.
Okay.
What if we do spell?
Look, he's got so serious right there. He got so serious.
We'll
He
spell
took
it.
his, for those who can't see, he took his glasses off and shot Seth a look. No, don't, dude.
That's that. If you want to do it with me.
Obviously, you guys have to come back once it's officially announced, so we can get into it more deeply. But this was a blast. Thank you guys for coming on. We will have you guys again at some point to get into more details. But that's Clay and Seth, the Man Boys, on Bat Force Radio. Thank you guys for checking it out.